coaches another team, but he also came here and helped us out with practice and coaching in games. And his name is Kurt Evans, and he was tremendous. He knows more about lacrosse than I could ever dream of understanding. He's an amazing coach, and he really got these guys enthusiastic about the game, and the strides they made were incredible. So we hope that I can guarantee you we're going to have lacrosse next year as a full-time sport. And helping him was one of the old coaches. I mean old back in time, not in age, of course. One of the lacrosse coaches from the past who came back, and I saw a new level of enthusiasm from this gentleman that I hadn't seen in quite some time. That's Mr. Oppenheimer. So if you could come forward.
So, in an unusual turn of events, I'm going to be brief because we have some other stuff to say on behalf of Kurt. So, I do want to give a little history, and it goes back to Dunnebeck this past summer when a young gentleman by the name of Dean, is Dean still here? There he is. Had an interest in lacrosse, and he wanted everyone to share his interest in lacrosse. He got to know Kurt, who was here during the summer, and it spread. And when Dean came to school in September, he kept on talking it up, and so he had this little merry band of warriors that kept growing. So I want to particularly appreciate Dean for helping us get this started. I'm going to highlight a few people. I'm notorious for missing folks. It does not mean that I don't appreciate you incredibly, but I do want to appreciate John Bida, who killed it in everyday game. Also John Bossy, who has the toughest job as goalie. It's not easy to take that kind of punishment every day. But he did it, he loved it, and we appreciate him. Lucas Garcia, who never played before, but became a real rock star by the end of the season. Devin, who is absolutely fearless. I'm afraid of her. Kiana, who took some leadership, got people organized, helped keep the defensive line where they needed to be. James Green.
Oh boy.
I think it's an understatement to say he didn't love the game. But if you saw him play the final game, you would never know that he did not like that game. He became a really good player. And he really came through in a pinch, particularly in that game. Bernardo, who was always ready to play. Sometimes he was ready to play even if we didn't have a game. And Cooper, who really loves the game. He's got a lot of years ahead of him to really get into it. But a really spirited player. Was really brave one day when we needed a goalie. He hopped in. I think he likes his attack position a little better, but he really he showed some real courage when he was willing to get into that box. I have great appreciation for everyone who contributed. So thank you very much.
this point, I'd like to ask anyone who's on the lacrosse team to come up very quickly. We have Kurt, who could not be here. He said he was sorry he wasn't here, but he got a lacrosse ball for everybody on the team, and he said a little something about everyone. So you could come up here pretty quickly, and yeah, just come on up front here. I want to give this ball to Carl Oppenheimer. It says, Carl Oppenheimer, we're back. So there you go. All right. Okay, the first player is not here. His name is Spenny Mandy. He's a fourth grader, going up against high school kids. Pretty good. And he's also about this tall. And but these are things that Kurt wrote to me that he said about each player. Spenny Mandy, one tough little guy, ground ball vacuum, will make a good attack man someday, we hope, at Kildonan. Remains to be seen. Is Rory here?
No.
Rory Perkins, fifth grade girl. One tough little girl, already a good attack person. It's in her blood, from Berkshire Green to Kildonan Green. Her father's the coach over at Berkshire. I could see her talent immediately. Cooper Kaysen, right over here. I am so impressed with Coop's sense of commitment. He'll be a good attackman, but he could also be our next goalie, which I would love for the next 5 years. Ray Carrito. Where's Ray? Oh, boy. Ray, once he finds his gear and gets into the drills, Ray is a pretty good defenseman. Stay with this game and you'll surprise yourself. Dalton Brown, a scrappy midfielder, 1/3 of the 7th grade midfield, will only get better in the future. Lucas Beanie, Mr. Beanie Man, he says. Is that what he calls it? Another 1/3 of the 7th grade midfield. Beanie could play middle or attack and was agile enough to play with the older kids. So that's good for next year. See you next year. Devin Turan. Devin can play on any team I coach, anywhere, anytime. What hustle, attitude, and athleticism, all with a ponytail. You go, girl. Do you want to play some hoops next year? Kiana Morales, Miss Brooklyn, yo. I have an orange stick for you. That's an inside joke, I don't know what that is. The best looking defense player on the team, sorry James and Nardo. Please play next year and see you in hoops. Dean DiPietro. Dean is one of the Dunnebeck kids. Without his interest, intensity, and desire to play the game, we might not have done this. One of my Sneed awards, Carl could probably explain that.
But I probably shouldn't right now.
Okay. So you might hear that from time to time.
I mean, I'll say what I can appropriately say about Gail Sneed. Gail Sneed was a legendary coach. She was, I think she was Kurt's assistant at Harvey School a long time ago. So there's a routine she used to do that maybe not everyone understands. But she was an amazing coach. She inspired tremendous spirit in kids for the game. And she happened to be the mother of a former Kildonan faculty member, Susie Sneed at that time, who's now Susie Vanderhorst. So that's the reference to Gail Sneed. Yeah.
Lucas Garcia Mazabel, our one true high school attackman. He uses his soccer background well, and he has a good sense of shooting and scoring. Good luck in Florida, we'll miss you. Maggie Teisler, any team, anywhere, anytime, ditto what I said about Devin. Maggie is great. Love that attitude. I've only had 2 other girls who could play at midfield in the boys' game, and now we have 2 on the same team. Awesome. Please play next year. John Bida, the franchise. With John, we were immediately competitive. He is a bull in a china shop, which is not a bad thing in lacrosse. With some experience and control, John really has a future. Malcolm says hello. Bernardo. I've known Bernardo for several years, always on the other side of the sideline. What a gentleman, what a great competitor. Recruited James, and our defense was solid immediately. This will be part of your legacy.
I had to!
You all heard it here.
I signed you up for every sport!
James Green, that's James Green. He who has great speed, speed kills, always go with speed, and skill to boot.
Yeah, anything else?
Wish I had met you sooner, my friend. Mini bet. And John Bossy, my last Snead Award. Without John stepping into the goal, this would not have happened. Another friendship over several years, this is what it is all about. Your spirit carried us. Good luck at Landmark. Thank you, guys.